working people I know are still struggling. Not because they're lazy, but because nobody taught them the rules of money. This is the reason why I, Dr. Kennedy Thomas, decided that financial literacy is quietly destroying good people. And today, we're talking why financial illiteracy is one of the most expensive and silent problems in our society. So, this is part of my project of 1 million people project. We need bringing financial clarity to anyone and everyone that is willing, the underserved communities, the people that want to go to the next level, how to take them from point A to point B. So most people think that poverty only means lack of income, but there's another kind of poverty. This is poverty of information, poverty of strategy, poverty of structure, poverty of planning. You say a person can make money and still be financially trapped. That's why financial literacy must be a civic right. I believe, just like any other rights, that financial literacy ought to be and should be a civic right. You say there's the real cost of not knowing because financial illiteracy costs people. It costs people time. That time because wrong decisions delay progress for years. So you're stuck. You don't even know you're stuck, but you're stuck. You know why? Because you can't even make correct decisions. Number two, money. So bad debt, no plan, poor investments, and no protection. Number three, stress, confusion. Confusion creates anxiety, by the way. And this could be pretty rough because when people are confused, generally nothing big happens when people are confused. You say, this is the reason why stress, a body as stress, eventually becomes a diseased body. And so a body that is not as stressed is a very healthy body. So that takes me to point number four, family stability. You see, many households fight over money because no one understands money. And so there is fight within the families. They couldn't make up their mind what they should do because the understanding of money is missing. That literacy is missing. And then number five is legacy. Children inherit habits and confusion. I tell people, even you today, you are a combination of the inheritance of the DNA from your parents, your grandparents, and all the trauma they went through concerning money, that all of them were passed on through a genetic code to you, either knowingly or unknowingly. So you're going to have to go and step beyond the normal in order for you to be able to like break whatever that negative genetic code is for you. This is the reason why it's extremely important to understand that financial illiteracy costs people too much money, time, money, stress, family stability, and legacy. Now, let me take it a step further, okay? Why good people stay stuck. And this one is a little bit painful to me because the reason why is some people are just good people, but they don't understand the language of money. And because they don't, apparently it end up costing them a lot. For example, okay, people who are good, who are stuck, it's not because they are bad people, not at all. It's not because they are dumb, not at all. Because nobody explained how compounding works. Nobody explained how debt compounds against you. No one explained how retirement income actually works. Why protection really matters. Why you need to protect your family, protect yourself, insurances, annuities, all the right stuff. Why taxes matter? Because apparently the people at the very top of the top pay no taxes, and the people at the very bottom, homeless people, pay no taxes. So the people in the middle, obviously, they are squeezed. Why? Where money sits also matters because is your money growing or is your money shrinking? You see, this is the reason why the 1 million people vision is real for me. It really is because the mission is very, very simple. It's a very simple mission. Help 1 million people gain clarity around money flows, gain clarity around debt control, gain clarity around protection, around retirement, wealth building, and legacy thinking. There's so many people right now that, honestly speaking, that all they just need is just a fair shot. That's all they need. Not just a fair shot. They're not looking for handouts. They're not saying, oh, by the way, feed me. They just say, give me the ropes. I'm not lazy. Show me what I have to do. I'm hardworking. I guarantee you I will come through. And there's so many people like that. You say the movement of 1 million people, for me, it's not just any kind of movement. It's not content. It's not just, I don't whatever you want to attach to it. For me, this movement is about dignity because no family should be forced to make life-changing money decisions in darkness. And that's exactly what's taking place. Because the people at the very top, they have the financial advisors, they have all the support system. They don't know everything, but they have all the support that they need to make informed decisions. But the people at the bottom don't have the access. So they don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to. They don't have the means. I want to be a voice, that can lift as many people as possible, to another level. Because why? Because they have access to someone that is teaching about how money works. You see, guys, I can say this, okay? I've watched talented people earn very, very well and still lose financially. I've watched ordinary people make one very clear decision and completely change their future. I come from a very humble beginning. I come from Nigeria. As a grown up as a kid. My dad died when I was about 7 years old. My mom has to raise eight of us, and it was very difficult. And I remember what life was like. 3 meals a day was a struggle. Holding my shoes as a kid, I remember like yesterday. And frankly speaking, I hated it. But I knew that all I needed was one shot, one opportunity. One shot, one opportunity to be able to be in a place where I'm not asking for handouts. I'm not asking for anything. I just want to work. I want to be able to go to work. I want to compete. I want to be able to make money. But I needed the ropes. I needed to understand the game. So the first thing I had to do was really learning how money works. But it's not like I just woke up one day and you learn how money works, but I had to learn how money works. And that's just trial and errors. You're making a lot of mistakes. You lost a lot of money. And then you cry about it. And you're like, what, my God, what's going on? And then you realize the game is different. The game is actually rigged. Because if you don't understand the rules of the game and you go to play that game, even when you're winning, you don't even know you're winning, and eventually you lose. So there is a game that goes along with money, understanding how money works. That it's a game. And that game, in a nutshell, simply says whoever have access to information and can execute and know the trajectory of where they're going, they have a whole lot more shot than anybody else that's out there. If I give someone $1 million who understand how money works, they will double that million to possibly 2 million or more. If I give $1 million to someone that doesn't understand how money works, that $1 million will be spent and it's gone. So the question never is, do I need to go make more money? That's not the question. The question should be that what do I need to do to make sure I have a system and structure in place to understand how money works? Now, then take the message to say, okay, now let me go make more money so that now if I need to make 10,000, I know what to do. And if you make 10,000, then you know you could make 20,000. You do twice the same thing that you did, or you get more strategic. Okay, now I can make 40,000, I can make 100,000, I can make 1 million, but the formula remains the formula. The average person doesn't have access to this. They don't know this. For example, if I gave, $100,000, and I said, here goes 100,000, person A, and then I have a person B. So person A, $100,000. Guess what? Person A says, I need to buy a property, pays off a property for $100,000 and is good to go. Just for this example, I'm happy. And guess what? At least I have no mortgage. At least my house is paid off, and they're happy. They're starving, but they have the house paid off. I give the same $100,000 to somebody else who understands the blueprint of money. They take the 100,000, they spend it in four different directions. That's 25,000 a piece. They buy $100,000 property each and put down the down payment for each one of them. They rent them out, and so now the renters are paying exactly the mortgage, and now they are pocketing the difference. So they have four sources of cash flow. 100,000 just became $400,000 on the same $100,000. Meanwhile, the person that doesn't understand how money works takes the $100,000 and guess what they're thinking? I don't have to pay a mortgage. I'm finished. This is the problem with not understanding how money works. This is the reason why, like I want to be able to populate information. And that's why I'm asking for support. I want to be able, guys, I'm not asking for 1 million followers. No. All I'm asking for is this. I want to be able to impact 1 million people having a serious financial conversations about how money works, making the right decisions so they are no longer deciding in the dark, so they understand how money truly works. That's my mission. That's my passion. By the way, if you're listening to me, if this is making sense, subscribe to my channels, follow me on this, because I guarantee you, I am going to have 1 million people literally join this cause of populating how money works. By the way, from one end of the world to another. My language in English is going to be translated in multiple languages all over the globe because I am going to do whatever I need to do to make this dream become a reality. So, if this message resonates with you, share this live with everybody. Invite one person in. Next time I come on, I say invited me right now, but I'm about to leave. So next time I come on, invite at least one person to come with you. You could also comment clarity if you believe financial literacy should be a civic right, which is a passion of mine. I mean, you are right for all kind of stuff, right for this, right for that. Everybody have a right. It's my right. It's my right. I believe that financial literacy should also be a civic right, where it's a right for you to have access to learning how money works. I have the ability to be able to make sound money decisions. Because here is it before I wrap it up, okay? If I put an average person and I say, listen, I am going to give you all the money in the world, but I'm going to deny you access to the understanding of how money works. You normally think you can figure it out on your own. Don't worry, just give me the money. I'll figure it out. It's a lie. It's a lie. The reason why it's a lie is because the trauma of your parents, your grandparents, your great great grandparents, and so on and so forth, they are all composition of your genetic codes. So what happens is you're afraid, you're fearful, you make wrong decisions, and ultimately you blow the money. But meanwhile, if you have the mentorship, if you have the coaching, if you have the access, and you have the blueprint of money, you're going to just continue to grow that money. That is the beauty of this. Excellent beauty of this. So, with that said, I want to thank you for joining me today. You're going to see me more and more on this. So right now, I'm broadcasting on Facebook, on IG, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm going to add all of my channels here so that you can really follow me and begin this because this journey of 1 million just started. This is the first week. And you're going to see me every single day for an hour. Today's short, like an intro where I'm going to come in. I'm going to talk about exactly how money works and just come and ride this journey with me and take yourself to the highest level of your financial freedom. So with that said, thank you for joining me today. Walk like it's up to you and pray like it's up to God. Thank you, everybody. Bye now.